Welcome back. We have discussed our various investment options, including Treasury bills. Now, let me ask you a question. Is investing in Treasury bills beneficial? Do you think it's an investment vehicle that you'd like to onboard or that you'd like to take up? My name is Berlin. Press the subscribe button. In this video, we are going to explore whether it is necessary to invest in Treasury bills, of course, depending on your various investment objectives. We are going to go through the different scenarios or the different investment objectives that would make investing in a Treasury bill lucrative or necessary for you, and the investment objectives that you will not achieve if you opt to take up the Treasury bills. Now, like we have said before, or like I've told you, Treasury bills is a short-term borrowing by the government, different governments, Nigerian government, Tanzania government, Uganda, US, India. All governments borrow money to finance their different budgetary allocations. Some of these borrowings are short-term. Some governments auction bills for 2 weeks, others auction for 3 months. I mean, the shortest papers auctioned is 2 weeks for some governments, like I know UK, I know India. I'm not sure if India still does I'm not sure if India does 2 weeks or not, but yeah, certain governments auction for 2 weeks. Locally in Kenya, our shortest paper is 3 months, and then we have 6 months and we have 9 months. Now, that short tenor for the Treasury bill makes it an ideal scenario, an ideal investment option for short-term objectives. Now, the short-term duration for these Treasury bills makes them ideal investment options to fulfill your short-term objectives. Short-term and medium-term, yeah? That is your objectives that you'll need to achieve within 3 months or 1 year. If you want to achieve wealth accumulation, wealth growth, then Treasury bills might not really be the best for you. If you want to save towards your retirement, for instance, Treasury bills might not be ideal for you. You might want to opt for Treasury bonds, which carry with them a longer duration, investment duration. If you want a short-term transition, for instance, you're buying a vehicle, you are sourcing for a vehicle, and you are still not keen on which specific vehicle you want to buy. You are giving yourself maybe a 3 month duration of time. You can pack aside the funds you are holding in a Treasury bill at the 3 months paper. You can pack aside the money you are holding in the 3 months paper, so that by within the 3 months, you'll have achieved 2 things. One, you would have had delayed gratification, and you would have had sufficient time to source for the vehicle that you need, to settle on a vehicle that you need. If you want to buy property, you have the cash now. You probably have been paid a bonus. You have the property. You're looking for a property. It is possible for you to pack aside these funds in a Treasury bill. Remember, Treasury bills, they are not as liquid as money market funds or funds in your bank. In your bank, you can walk in and demand for the money. So if you lack that savings discipline, where you have funds allocated for a particular purpose, but you fear or you're not confident in yourself that you can let the money stay put in the bank account or in the MMF for the next 3 months or for the duration that you need, then the Treasury bill will be a safe parking spot for you. Take the 3 months paper, go about whatever due diligence you're doing, and once you settle on a property, you can use the proceeds of the bill to now make the purchase. Of course, property transactions have the advantage of having a completion period of 3 months. So even if you had, if you are to locate the property that you needed 1 or 2 weeks later, you know at least within the 3 months completion period, your T-bill will have matured, and then you can make your settlement. Another instance where you can take advantage of the T-bill, if you're transitioning jobs, you're moving from one employer to the next employer, and we all know that you can access a portion of your pension funds, but you do not know yet which fund manager you want to manage these funds for you. Probably you are not pleased with your former employer's fund manager. Why? Because of underperformance. Like you have a fund manager who is offering you the bare minimum of 4%, while market rates are at double digits. So if you are to exit that employment, and when you exit employment, you have a chance to transition from that pension scheme to another pension scheme. So you can opt to request for your pension funds the amounts which you can access, which the regulator allows you to access before hitting retirement age. And because these are funds whose purpose is for you to use in your old age or during retirement, you don't want to hold them in your ordinary savings account where you have ease of access to them. You can request your pension fund managers to give you access to the portion that you can. Is it 50%? Yeah? To the portion that you can access. And then you can park these amounts in a treasury bill. Once you have transitioned into your next employer or to your next employment, you can now move them to that employer, to their fund manager, or to their pension scheme rather, sorry. At the same time, even if you're not transitioning to another employment, but you are exiting your current employment, and mark the word and you are not pleased with the performance of that pension scheme, you want to source for a different fund manager to manage your pension, you can park aside. You can request for the amounts to be given to you, park them in a treasury bill. It's a short-term savings vehicle. So get your pension from your fund manager, park them in the treasury bill, and then source around for an alternative fund manager pension scheme. Once you have one, now whatever amount was left in your former employer's pension, you can now request for that amount, whatever amount that was left behind, to be remitted to your new fund manager. And then once your treasury bill matures, you can now take the amounts and consolidate with the new fund manager. So you can use treasury bills as a short-term transition, as a short-term savings, as you transition from one pension scheme to the next pension scheme. Now, in the unlikely event that you had accessed a credit facility and secured lending, for instance, for a specific purpose, maybe you wanted to buy a property, maybe you are looking to buy a vehicle, and then that has been taken up. Whatever property you wanted to buy, maybe the loan process has delayed, your loan has been disbursed, and now you don't have access to the property that you initially needed to buy. You can use the treasury bill to temporarily park aside that money. Now, the reason I like the treasury bill is because it's not as liquid as funds in your current account or your savings account or funds in your MMF. So those are some of the scenarios when treasury bills can become ideal. However, if you're looking towards long-term investments, wealth growth, wealth accumulation, then the bills might not really be the best one for you. Okay. Now, you may also want to consider taking treasury bills in a scenario where rates are low and they are on an upward trajectory. You want to invest in government securities, yes, but the prevailing market rates are low. But you see the rates are on an upward trajectory. Status quo in this current economy, CBK has been working towards bringing down interest rates. We have seen even banks reciprocating. Rates are coming down. So at this particular instance, bills might not really be the best for you because rates are coming down and they lack that advantage of being able to lock high interest rates for you over a long duration of time. Like a few months back, papers were being auctioned at 16 point something bills, and now they're still at 16 point something, but the rates are coming down. In the next few months, I'll not be surprised if we hit 15 point something percent in the bills. So Treasury bills lacks that element of being able to lock high interest rates for you. Now, how do you take advantage of that? When rates are on an upward trajectory, you can't take up the bills, and once the interest rates hit the optimal point, you can now transition from the Treasury bill that you are holding once it matures and take a Treasury bond. Now, with that in mind, do you think Treasury bills are a good investment or not? Personally, because my main aim is to accumulate wealth and to have passive income, to have access to cash flows and passive income rather, I would prefer to go for the bonds as opposed to taking up Treasury bills because they really don't match with my investment objectives. What about you? Please press the subscribe button. Do like the video and share it out with your friends.